Greetings from Tokyo, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in very good spirits wherever you are in the world. And today, if you don't mind, I would very much like to continue on with the 31 days of gangster films and cop films, police films, from the year 1970 to the present. And this 31 days discussion project is one where it is my hope that you and we can talk about as many films as possible in the context of these really exciting and entertaining genres of cinema, the gangster film genre and the police film genre, respectively. In that spirit today, specifically for this video, I'd like to focus in on the police film genre element of such equation. And for that, I have a film that is, I think, it's regarded as one of the great landmark cinema classics. It is regarded as being a high-octane, edge-of-your-seat, thoroughly entertaining work filled with incredibly imaginative action set pieces galore to the max, as well as being one of the great examples of the cinematic prowess of this particular filmmaker in question, the director, and I'll mention that momentarily. You combine that with a very intriguing, very intricately set story that is involving the police film, or the police characters, and the detectives and the investigator characters on the one hand, and then also the criminal underworld organized crime aspect on the other, including betrayals and killings and takeovers and usurpations of power and authority, etc., as well as concepts of illegal trade, trafficking, and the like. And then you combine with that as well aspects of the undercover police operative or operatives, and the importance of maintaining secrecy in such work, and also the discovery of secrets, and how that discovery then brings the plot and the characters forward to the inevitable conclusion or conclusions that are both climactic, dynamic, and oh so thrilling and entertaining. And so I'd like to talk about this film, which is described as being from 1992, and it is from the great cinema of Hong Kong. And it has in its incredible cast people like Cho Yun-fat and Tony Leung Chiu-wai and Teresa Mo and Philip Chan, Philip Kwok, Anthony Wong. Wow, what a great all-around great performances. And it's under the direction of the incredible filmmaker and artist who is John Woo. And I'm speaking of this film, which is Hard Boiled. Hard-boiled, as I mentioned, I think we can discuss in the context of the police film genre, the detective film genre. It is about confronting these various criminal elements that we see that involve, to some degree or another, kind of trafficking, sometimes illegal weapons trafficking, and assassinations, and criminal organized underworld movements and rumblings, etc. And then we have, therefore, at the center, or one of the centers, shall we say, of the police crime investigating component of the plot is the Cho Yun-fat character, the tequila character, very memorably and iconic representation of this character. So iconic, so cool, so chic, with that wonderful cinematic aura about him, and it's undeniable. I mean, whenever he is on screen, he is very exciting and electrifying and an action film star, and we definitely see this in terms of the mood and presence that accompanies his own appearances on screen when they do occur. And also in the so-called quote-unquote quiet moments, the character moments, whether he is sitting at the bar or having a drink or playing music, or having a very serious philosophical conversation or conversations with various characters, and also in a professional and personal setting. Whatever the case may be, his star status is through the roof, incredible. That's not all, of course, because then you combine that with the incredible prowess of the action scenes that he's engaged in. These are some of the most famous action scenes in one of the most famous action films ever. I can say, whenever I'm asked, the first time I saw this film, Hard Boiled, I think, like many other people who were being introduced to the world of Hong Kong cinema through these works by John Woo and others during the 90s. I mean, this was a real eye-opener, incredible eye-opener, and it was stunning, vivid, inventive. It was what could they come up with next? That kind of jaw-dropping experience as a viewer. And so I think this feeling has been shared by people across the world, and for good reason, because it is that stellar in terms of the way that the action is stacked, and it's choreographed. It almost has this ballet-like choreography in terms of the way in which action and collision and confrontation is really brought across the screen, spraying across the screen, exploding with flares and smoke and things flying across the screen, including our performers, our actors as well, in this incredible tour de force of component action pieces that really bring the plot forward. And so we have Choi Yun-fat and others who are involved in these scenes so vividly and so well. Now, I mentioned that his character, this detective character, the Tequila character, is a very important, and it's a kind of iconic role. But what's so great about this film is that this is perhaps it could be said that this is one of the central components of this film, because it could also be said that the other central performance, one of the key performances, is that of the great actor Tony Leung. And Tony Leung here plays a character that is also very incredibly rendered and represented here. I mean, his characterization and the immense background involved with that, as well as the action flourishes that are involved with his character, plus also the incredibly set up moral ambiguity that is involved with his characterization, and everything that is implied there, and how it's tied not just to his own character but also to the plot of the film. And it's so crucial. This is also one of the great iconic performances, and so his performance and balanced with the character of Tequila, this forms a real interesting duo. That is, it's sometimes unsure, it's sometimes unknown. Are they friends? Are they foes? What's going on here? So this type of back and forth adds to the suspense, tension, and mystery. And as we get more information, and as we see how the plot progresses and how all the characters end up being related in this intricately set up web, we realize that we are in for one heck of an entertaining ride indeed. So. And this is, I think, a film that is filled with a number of central, iconic performances. And then you have, combined with that, such a great flair and incredible, I would say imaginative, which is, as a compliment, but that would imply that it would still be within the scope of say, my own imagination as a subjective individual viewer. But for me, when I first saw it, especially, it went beyond anything that I could ever hope to fathom, to imagine. I mean, it was that mind-boggling to me. It melted my brain. It was that type of experience watching it for the first time when I was much younger, and just to see the progression of what could come next, and how it was also so beautiful to watch. I mean, there's something to be said, of course, about how violence and this type of violent related action is depicted in the action genre writ large. And there are many ways to present that and to show it via certain special effects and choreography, etc. This type of presentation in the hands of John Woo and company in a film like Hard Boiled, I mean, it is incredible. It is really, really incredible, and it has become a type of gold standard, if you will, or one of the gold standards in terms of a real effective way to show this type of action-based sequences and set pieces that has become, I think, world famous ever since this point. To become maybe now, even in the context of today's contemporary film language, it's almost second nature, perhaps. But really, this continues to be such a huge, phenomenal aspect and a great example of what this type of action film entertainment can be like in the hands of such a great master filmmaker artist like John Woo and company. So what a great film this is, and so iconic, so classic. I think modern action cinema owes so much to John Woo in terms of what he has shown us, including in his great filmography, including this iconic work, Hard Boiled. And then to bring it back to the police film procedural type of storyline. I mean, we have the interactions within the police department. There is this idea of bureaucracy or breaking the rules and consequences. There's also the concept of loyalty between and among partners, because they are putting their lives on the line in order to stop and catch criminals. And sometimes there's success, but a lot of times there are failures and there are mistakes made. And I think this film does show that side of the procedural aspect, I think, really effectively. And it really helps to enhance the drama and also the character arcs of these characters, and the main characters and also the secondary characters as well. And then while at the same time we have this very compelling story about undercover work and trying to catch the criminal element, which itself has its own dynamic and subplots adorning it regarding maybe takeover, almost a revolution within the certain criminal elements that we see focused in the plot, and how that has ramifications across the board in terms of what these characters on this side of the coin are trying to do, these characters on that side of the coin are trying to do, and also maybe some characters that might be found to be caught in the middle, and what all this has in store for everyone concerned. And so that leads to, I think, a really complex plot as well. And I think it goes really quite nicely. I mean, it doesn't shy away from trying to show these intricacies and the idea of hidden identities, secret agendas. There are certain shots where something happens and you can really feel the conflict within a particular character. Something has happened, and maybe based on certain secret identities and hidden agendas, that character cannot show what it is that character is really feeling inside, because that character has to pretend to be someone else that character is not inside. And so, but when there is an actual piece of action that occurs, there are moments where the camera lingers on that character and we can feel the conflict. This is tearing up that person inside, and that type of moral ambiguity adds to the richness of the tapestry and the environment, thus making for, I think, really compelling drama that is combined with the compelling action. So it has those elements really spelled out so nicely, and then we have the explosions and the tumult and the chaos, the beautifully rendered chaos. Chaos equals poetry. Chaos is cinematic poetry here, and it's done with such vivid detail and with the masterstrokes of the cinematic offerings of John Woo. So there is so much here to be said about this great work, Hard Boiled. And so if you haven't seen this work yet, I can strongly recommend it. And I know that I belong to the wide-ranging worldwide chorus of fans and admirers of this and other works of John Woo, in terms of the great finesse and cinematic artistry and truly breathtaking entertainment values that this and other films have. It is a breathtaking work of art in all senses of that term. This is the work which is hard-boiled. Okay, my dear friends, so that's it for now. And so until we meet again, please be happy and healthy and well, and please keep on watching a lot of great, great movies. Thank you so much, as always, for your time. I very, very much appreciate it. Stay strong, stay safe, and cheers.